Good afternoon, everyone, or good morning, or good evening, wherever you are. This is Prasad Demandi. I'm a Services Offering Manager at IBM. And so APIs are the underlying technology enabling digital transformation for both large and small companies. While APIs are fairly new technology, I would say we started seeing API adoption in the past 4 to 5 years or so. They are being adopted very quickly across industry verticals, across both large and small companies, to create new business revenue streams, to expand brand outreach, to derive value from the data that these companies have in the backend systems of record. APIs are being used to, can you go back to the previous chart, please, Kasim? Yeah. Companies are using APIs to expose backend systems of record data and provide a way for app developers to consume those APIs and develop innovative applications, adopt digital platforms across cloud and microservices, across the web and mobile, and also technologies like Internet of Things, delivering a differentiated client experience for their customers. Next chart, please. There are 4 key API industry use cases. The first is around rapid application development. Agile is something that's here to stay. We've been seeing that shift from the traditional app development towards agile development models, and APIs are enabling where companies are developing APIs, publishing them as a library of APIs specific to a business outcome. And app developers are able to leverage these APIs and build applications quickly based on market situations and market demands. A good example there would be a marketing campaign around a holiday like Thanksgiving, where companies might want to run a specific promotion, and using APIs, they're moving towards agile development and able to react to market situations. The second use case is whenever companies expose their backend systems of record, it's extremely important that they have that secure capability to expose that data and at the same time provide that data in a secure manner for a breadth of technologies across mobile, web, and cloud and IoT. The third use case is extending the brand outreach, where APIs allow companies to tap into open source communities, worldwide open source communities, if I may say that, as well as expand into partner ecosystems, where companies can now publish APIs in public domain, selectively, obviously, and drive innovation with a broader outreach and hence expand their brands. And if you actually look at programmableweb.com and look at the API dashboard there, you'll see hundreds of APIs that are available across the public domain. The fourth key and important use case is the monetization and driving new revenue streams for companies using APIs, where this data that is earlier locked in the backend systems is now exposed securely to APIs and monetized, and driving new revenue channels for companies. Next chart, please. I want to give a few examples here to mainly make the point that APIs are very much industry-agnostic technology. And as I gave a reference earlier to programmableweb.com, that kind of shows the breadth of API adoption through their API dashboard. The first example here is a fintech company, a large bank that was a very early adopter of APIs, and they frequently run hackathons internally as well as in public domain, and were able to expand and deliver over 300 business services and been extremely successful with their API platform across multiple core lines of businesses. The second is a healthcare company providing personalized healthcare services through API, and APIs enabling this through their secure platform, where their consumers are able to receive that enriched client experience. The third example, there is an automobile company which, through adopting APIs, is extending this outreach into Internet of Things, connected cars overall. Not only providing that experience, improving driving experience, but also sharing this data with their partners. And the fourth example there is retail, large retail company that is adopted APIs for running their customer promotions and running their loyalty programs that we all are very familiar with, enabling through mobile applications. Next chart, please. So with that background, I want to take a few minutes and introduce a market-leading API management product, which is our IBM API Connect. API Connect is a highly scalable multi-cloud API management platform that has fully enriched capabilities, not only across management, but also highly secure, and also the ease of creation of APIs, where API Connect provides automatic creation of APIs from microservices, and with minimum low code or almost like no code API development through drag and drop development tooling, with a very rich set of built-in policies that developers can rapidly assemble an API and expose it and publish it for external consumption, at the same time secure it through that drag and drop capability. And this overall allows companies to rapidly adopt and not only adopt APIs and define and develop them and publish, but also deploy API Connect across a multi-cloud type of topology. Next chart, please. So to cover the holistic features available in API Connect, API Connect not only provides what we just talked about, right, across the create, secure, manage, but also provides a portal component through which APIs can be socialized and can be externalized, and also has capability for monetizing APIs through integration with payment systems, as well as provides a rich set of analytics, data points that give information, data on API consumption, performance, which can be used to drive business revenue streams in terms of actually monitoring API value. API Connect version 2018 is our new version, which we released last year around the April timeline, which provides a highly flexible multi-cloud deployment topology, where you now have the option to deploy API gateways, co-locate them with your provider backends virtually on any cloud, with a single management layer across a geographically dispersed deployment of gateways or API gateways. And not only that, API Connect version 2018 is a completely redesigned, re-architected product with microservices principles and a native container architecture that provides that independent scalability across multiple components based on the platform characteristics. And overall is a very high performing product, but it's not only high performing, but it's also very easy to use and deploy. Next chart, please. API Connect, one of the key components of API management platform is the gateways. And with providing the industry-leading data power gateway is the API gateway, and IBM Data Power Gateway needs no introduction. It is a widely successful edge gateway that companies adopt and deploy in the edge, in the DMZ zone, and it's highly secure, as well as it is available in multiple form factors across not only software, but also containers, and most importantly, in a hardware form factor, which is an appliance, which is extremely high performing, highly extensible through customized, policy development, as well as provides the ability to have a multi-tenant and tenant isolation capabilities, where a single appliance can act as an API gateway for multiple lines of businesses. Next chart, please. The key architectural deployment and power of API Connect version 2018 is in the multi-cloud deployments, where this is the only product that's available today, where it's possible to have the gateways deployed closer to the backend systems across any cloud providers. As you can see there, you now have the capability to deploy API gateways across Google Cloud or Amazon AWS or Windows, Microsoft Azure, or on-prem or our own IBM public cloud, where as companies are adopting platforms, this gives them the option to deploy API gateways geographically dispersed and located, where their backend systems are running in the cloud platforms, yet have a single management layer. And this truly brings the power of API scalability, as well as adoption across large enterprises. So with that background and introduction to API Connect, what I'd like to do now is to transition over to Kazim from Royal Cyber, who's going to talk about Royal Cyber expertise with API Connect and their experiences and capabilities. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prasad, for the introduction. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon and good evening. This is Kazim Beg from Royal Cyber. I take care of the API practice in Royal Cyber. So let me just begin with our experience in IBM API Connect. So we have been providing enterprise solutions to our clients who come from different domains. Few of them come from finance domain, few of them from automobiles. So the domains, Prasad has already taken us through the domains. And we also have experience in developing highly secure and efficient APIs, which are capable in performing during the high traffic situations. We also promote clients with the latest advancements and help them in implementing unique features of API Connect. We also provide architectural solutions and design solutions with the best practices of the API economy. Along with this, I have a few references to be shared. These are our success stories, and we have a list of clients, but to name a few, we have a major bank in Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, to whom we are providing the API Connect services along with other technologies, other IBM stack. We have a leading US-based credit organization. We have a logistics company in US. We have a telecom service provider from US. We have a US-based social service provider and a North American hardware retailer. With this also, tells us that we have a global presence in this API economy. So we have worked with our clients in bringing up the environment, developing migration from different technologies, and providing them training and implementing best solutions. So I'll be going through each of our services in the next slides. Before that, let's talk about the environment setup. So we have three kinds of offerings. One is the cloud. For the first one is the cloud. Cloud is nothing but the environment. Your environment is running on the cloud. It can be IBM's own cloud, IBM Cloud Private, or it can be running on AWS or Azure. Prasad has already explained about the different cloud capabilities of IBM API Connect. And then when we talk about the mostly used segment of environment setup, which is on-premise, wherein all your servers are running on your current infrastructure, but using hypervisors, which to name a few hypervisors, VMware, vSphere, and this is the mostly used environment setup. But slowly customers are also moving towards the hybrid solutions. We are helping customers to advance to the hybrid solutions, wherein your data power gateway is placed on the cloud, and your API manager and developer portal rely onto the secure zone under the hypervisors. The reason for having data power onto the cloud provider is to improve the scalability and performance, so that you do not have to worry about your traffic, or you do not have to worry about the performance as well. So this is kind of a hybrid solution which we are trying to move our customers to improve the stability in the API economy. We also help customers in migration from API management, which is the older version 4 or version 3, to version 5, which is IBM API Connect. We also help in migrating from other solutions, other API solutions. There are many API solutions, so we, since we have a strong market-leading performer, IBM API Connect, we get a lot of requests from our customers in migrating from different API solutions to IBM API Connect, and we also help our customers to upgrade their current environment or to add fixed packs to their environment. We also provide detailed documentation of the work that we do. So when we talk about development, we have tried to put in a few key aspects, but we have a few more that we can cover. We help customers in creating swaggers. While we create swaggers, we follow the best practices, RESTful practices, and then we also help customers in creating API assembly. So when we talk about assemble, we try to keep as low number of policies as possible, which helps us to improve the API performance. We secure all the APIs with OAuth and other security implementations like JWT or encryption and decryption, so that our customer is satisfied with the security aspects of his APIs, because most of our customers come from banking sector, so they want all their APIs to be secure. And we also help in integrations with different backend systems via HTTP or HTTPS, and we do the integrations in a dynamic format, so that for each API the customer is not required to give the backend input. We create dynamic space holders for that in our assembly. We also help customers in creating custom dashboards that not only help the developers or the organization in viewing their API activity, but it also helps the business team to analyze their growth in this particular domain. We take the requirements from the customer, and understand it better to give them the best look and feel of their dashboard. And then we have custom policy creation. So if you want me to give an background of custom policy, we get a lot of requirements of complex logging situations and complex error handling situations, wherein we develop custom policies using gateway script or XSLT, which leverage their APIs in logging and error handling. So the custom policies that we develop, we try to make it as generic as possible, because we want these custom policy to be used across all the APIs in an organization, so that there is again minimum number of policies being used in an assembly, which improves the API performance. We have a complete experienced skill team for development who take care of all of these key aspects. And then talking about the troubleshooting, we have a lot of success stories to share, wherein we have troubleshooted issues related to the environments. Whenever a particular server is gone down, we try to bring that up, and then we provide the root cause analysis of of the background. We also do environment checkup and provide health check reports, so that if there is a requirement of upgrading the servers, then we suggest our clients in doing that. We also review each API in the organization, and we enable best practices to be followed. We also provide API training for our customers. We have we have multiple customers who are looking for API training. We handle environment handling training. We take care of development training, and then this was something what we do in generic. Out of the box, we have also come up with a solution of DevOps, wherein we have a very skilled DevOps team who take care of this automated deployment of your APIs from one environment to other environments using DevOps. So when I talk about the business case or the generic requirement, DevOps plays a major role when you have a large number of APIs. Like, so say suppose you have 100 plus or 400 plus APIs in your development domain, and you want them to be published into different domains like UAT or production. The manual way of doing it is downloading the Swagger file for both product and API itself, and then publishing them to UAT and prod. So this is a tedious process, and you tend to make a lot of mistakes in this. So to replace this, we have a DevOps solution wherein all your APIs and product files are automatically deployed when you check in your code into the repository to different domains. Talking more about the DevOps solutions, we place all the APIs and product files into a repository. A repository can be like, if you want me to give an example, then it can be Git repository, or it can be TFS as well. And then we have, along with these two files, there is a property file, which denotes the release type of the API. We'll be discussing about the API governance model in the next slide. We have three models: major, minor, and fix. And then we use Jenkins for configuring the pipeline and building the process. And then we have IBM Urban Code, which takes care of deployment into QA, test, and prod environments. So let us begin with the governance model. So like I mentioned, we have three models: major, minor, and bug. Whenever there is a major release, we replace the previous deployed API artifact in non-prod, and we publish the new release into our preceding environments. But whenever there is a minor release, we just replace it in non-prod, and in other prod and pre-prod environments, we replace the specific version, but there is an approval required for publishing. And whenever there is a bug release, we do not deploy it onto the non-prod, and also there is an approval required for our pre-prod and prod environments. So this depends. We have different segregations, different criteria to be taken care of. Whenever there is a complete change in request format or response format, that is taken into major release. Whenever there is a parameter change, then it is taken into a minor release. When we are fixing a bug, then it is taken into the bug release. Along with the this DevOps solutions, we also take care of a fallback mechanism, so that whenever an API or an artifact was not deployed properly, we roll back to its previous version so that the traffic is not affected. We also provide error handling, like triggering alert messages or alert emails whenever there is an error in deployment. We can also integrate this error handling or event triggerings with Slack or any other chatbots. We provide documentation steps to our customers in onboarding, which help them in onboarding new products. We also include approval processes in the deployment process. So let's get to the demo. I have a pre-recorded video with me. In this demo, we would be using GitHub as a repository, Jenkins to build the code, and IBM Urban Code Deploy to deploy the APIs. So we have made use of our cloud environment of API Connect, which is Bluemix, and let's get to the demo. Yeah. So as you can see in the screen, we have three things. Acme Bank. So Acme Bank is the actual project, and then we have this Jenkins and IBM Urban Code. These are the two aspects. Along with this, we have IBM API Connect Cloud. So let us. We also have the Git repository, wherein we check in all our files. So talking about the files, we have the API file, we have the product file, and then we have the build.properties file. So let us go through each of these files. The API file is your actual API Swagger file. We have this special build.properties file, which tells you the change type, bug fix, or major or minor release, and then we also assign a version for the product. Talking about the API Connect environment, we have Sandbox for development, UAT for user acceptance testing, and prod environment for your final release. Let's get back to the Jenkins, where the build Jenkins is hooked to the Git repository, and the build of the deployment is taken care by Jenkins, and then it is passed on to the Urban Code. In Urban Code, we have the component created as Acme Bank. So this is just a demo, Acme Bank, and you can also see the versions. To check the version of your deployment, you can just click on the version tab. So the latest version is 6.2.1, and let's try to push a major release. So whenever there is a major release, you do not have to give version to the product. Just change the version from 16.2.1 to 17. When there is a minor release, then it is 17.1.0. When there is a bug release, then it is 17.0.1. So this is the Git command to push your code from your local repository to Git repository. Let's run this command, commit the code, and push your code to the master branch of your Git repository. So this has been successfully pushed to the Git. Let's check that. So when you refresh it, you have the new version 17.0. And let's build the Jenkins now. Just click on build now, and the build process gets started. You can also see the logs if required. Just click on the build number here and go to the console output. You can debug into the current process. So Jenkins has, since we have hooked Jenkins with Git, you have got the version, the current version, which is 17.0. And then it is a major release. It has already identified that it is a major release. And let's get back to Urban Code and see the deployment process there. So right now we are deploying this into the sandbox environment. When we go to the components and get into the Acme Bank, so you can see here you have got a success status for version 17.0.0, which means your new API has been deployed into Sandbox. Let us check in your API Connect environment if it was deployed. Before that, these are the logs, or the steps that the Urban Code performed while deploying. And in your API Connect environment, getting into the Sandbox catalog, let's look for the newest version. Yeah, so here you have it, Acme Bank 17.0.0, which is the latest version deployed into Sandbox. This was our previous version. So this was deploying an API into your Sandbox environment. Now let's deploy the same API across UAT and prod environments. For that, again, let's begin with Urban Code. The Jenkins side has already built the deployment, and it has pulled the code from Git repository. You just have to go to the environments in Urban Code, and then let's deploy the code into UAT. So here are the three environments: UAT, Sandbox, UAT, and prod from APIC. Just click on the play symbol for UAT. So this will trigger a process of deployment. So here you need to initiate it. Select the process, which is Acme Bank again. And then submit. So it will ask for which version to be deployed. So let us choose the version. Here you have all the different versions. You need to add the newest version, which was created, version 17.0.0. It is not present in the current inventory. For that, just click on this drop down, and you'll find the version here. The reason why 17.0.0 is not present in this drop down is because we have not passed one requirement. So let us discuss about that particular requirement. So going back to versions, you can see Acme 17.0.0 in components. So there is a tag that you'll have to add under statuses. So when an API, when you want the API to be released to UAT, you need to have a tag of release. So let's add that status release and save it. Without this, the version will not be available in your process. So after adding it, let's again search the version in your process, in the current process, and it is available, Acme 17.0.0. Click on OK, and you are running the process on UAT. Click on submit. Let's check the steps if it is going on smoothly. So this downloads the YAML file, sets the permissions, logs into the API environment, and then publishes, runs the code, and then again logs out as well. for the deployment. Now it is still running. So once it is successful, then let's go back to the API Connect environment and check into the current catalog. So it is success now. We have got a success message. Let's get back to the UAT catalog. So in UAT catalog, you can find, the newest version, Acme Bank 17.0.0. This is the version. Now let's go back and deploy that into prod. For prod, you need to add a status of tested, save it, and then run the process, just like we did it for the UAT deployment. So we have release and tested status for our current version, Acme Bank 17.0.0. Let's create a process, request a process for prod. I can just click on the play button, select the process, Acme Bank. It will ask for versions. Choose the version. Select the version from drop down and click on submit. So this will again start, publishing your code or your API into prod from UAT, and let's check if this has been deployed. Go to prod catalogs. It is still running. It's not yet been deployed. The process is still running. Let's check that. As you can see the status here, the process is still running. It is publishing the API product definitions right now. It has a step of replacing the product in catalog, the 10th step. Yeah, now it is success. Let's refresh the page in API Connect. And here we have version 17.0.0 in our prod environment. So this was a demo, and we provide like we just discussed, we provide extra solutions along with just deployment. We take care of error handling, rollback mechanism, and integrating your triggers with email or Slack or even Skype. So we have another product called Monitor Pro. This is a monitoring product which is developed by our in-house team in Royal Cyber. This helps your organization, our clients, to understand the ongoing API economy, the usage of their APIs, and to scale the business teams in creating different APIs and to reach out to the market. Here is the logo of Monitor Pro, and this is for more information. You can always get into this link, https://monitorpro.io, wherein you can find more information about our product Monitor Pro. So let us discuss a few key things about Monitor Pro. Monitor Pro not only monitors API Connect, it also monitors your services running on IBM integration bus. It monitors your queues on IBM MQ, and it monitors your artifacts running on Data Power as well. It also monitors all of these servers together, providing a visual, representation of each of the events. Talking about the events, related to API Connect. API Connect emits four kinds of events. One is the monitoring event of its, the server, then log events, API events, and audit events. When we talk about monitoring events, it is actually the performance of your servers. Log events is, helpful for pulling the logs of each API, and then the API events helps you to dig into the process of your API performance, and then you have audit events for auditing. So Monitor Pro captures all these events into a visualized format, which is built by Grafana, using Grafana. So with Monitor Pro, you can create custom dashboards on the go. You can do the in-depth analysis of services, request response time, and status breakdown. You can, get the time that was taken by each API for execution. You can also check the request and response counts. Here is, a graphical, it's a snapshot of our representation from Monitor Pro. And for, like I said, for more information, you can always get to monitorpro.io. And yeah, so we also help in monitoring the device statistics and for CPU, memory, and disk usage. So this is a really good tool. It is the integration of Monitor Pro with API Connect is very simple. It is just a one-step process in Cloud Manager Console CMC, which is an API Manager. And with one go, you can push all your log events from API Connect server to Monitor Pro. So this was it. Thank you. Thanks everyone for your time, and it was nice, nice webinar. Thank you so much.